At the start of the day, we said today was about the resolution of the dog pile between the three teams that had 4 wins in Hong Kong Attitude, Berjaya Dragons, and Impunity. Now that Berjaya's and Hong Kong Attitude have already pulled away, the question is Impunity going to up the ante and join the squad, or are they going to allow Berjaya Dragons to actually just leave the pack on 6th win? We'll find out after this game. But first, we have to thank our sponsors in CTBC Bank, China Airlines, Chonghua Telecom, and our new addition in Caliber. Please do check these guys out. They make great stuff. And, coming back into this one, this is a very, very dire situation. We've talked about the other teams in the bottom. Alpha Esports not definitively out. Liab Esports, they can still get in. And now Impunity sitting on 4 wins. They have to be feeling the pressure mounting as they don't want to be missing out on postseason.
Impunity, one of those teams that after their roster changes, I definitely expected them to contest more convincingly for the 6th slot when it came to seeding, and so far it's definitely been a struggle for this squad as of late. They've at least started to form an identity, but again, they still have laning issues. They're trying to remedy that through just hard forcing the Zir pick in a number of situations. I think teams are starting to figure that out here. We'll see if Berjaya have an answer when it comes to that draft. Especially for Moonblack's champ pool. I expect at least 2 bans towards that pool, as it's been pretty consistent, and we'll see if Top King can pull out any magic due to the fact of so many bans going towards Moonblack.
Okay, we'll find out if Top King gets his way with maybe the River King that he's been picking up a couple of times. Meanwhile, in the rest of the roster, we have Epic, Moonblack in the mid, as we talked about, Boys, and the newest addition, Kralix, coming back onto the roster over Smurf. Has done okay in the past 2 games, has only played Thresh so far, and frankly, I do want to ask you about your opinion on this change into Impunity, and what do you think they're trying to get out of it?
I think the answer is really clear on what they want to get out of Kralix. It's just to remedy some of the really odd situations that Smurf gets really punished in. He's been hard punished in the lane phase, and then he gets caught out over and over again as well. So it's definitely a change called for, and so far we haven't needed to see a whole lot out of him, or we haven't seen a whole lot from him, but I would say just the absence of him in the kill feed is probably a good thing for the side of Impunity.
We'll see if he can continue to keep himself out of the kill feed, as you mentioned. Going into the head-to-head matchup, it is going to be in the jungler position. Arashi, the guy with cat ears, and Epic on the other side. In my opinion, one of the most handsome players. Going up against each other, and we have a look at the First Blood. Okay, actually, I'm not sure what the V means anymore.
I don't know
Usually
either.
it's participation, but this V's got me a little bit confused. I'm just gonna pretend that's gonna be a P there. So I think 30% sounds about right. While historically, Epic does have a much harder time actually getting in action on the First Blood.
Yeah, it's really interesting with what Epic's champion pool is as well. You look at that pool, it's Lee Sin, it's Trundle, it's Volibear. All these champions want to get really aggressive in the enemy jungle, make things happen. But then you watch the gameplay, and he ends up doing a lot of full clear pathings, which is really baffling. I need to see more aggressive pathing from Epic, but given that a lot of his gameplay ends up just running towards mid to help crash the wave for Moonblack to reset him, you know what? Maybe it all makes sense.
I certainly do not envy his job on this team. It's very difficult to find ganks that are not high risk when all your three lanes are typically, at least 2 of your lanes are typically behind. So we'll see what Epic can do this time around. Impunity banning away most of Minji's champions, and of course the Gwen. Everyone expects Gwen to be banned away against Ozzy. I feel like 11.15 actually opens up a lot of Ozzy's pool. The Gnar is back, the Kennen's back in full swing. Not exactly champions we're super excited about, but they're there. On Impunity side, what they typically do go for is lock in very early on. I feel like Thresh, or lock in very early on the Azir, which everyone knows is coming. So Impunity, not a huge surprise. I feel like their draft is pretty much figured out by this point. For Giant, on the other hand, another huge Varus team. You almost always expect Varus to just be like kind of insta-lock here. So we'll see what happens as the draft progresses.
Yep. We're most likely going to see Lee Sin, Varus on this rotation, or maybe they change things up with a Volibear pick. I expect that to still go into the hands of Arashi here. And you know what? With this Volibear pick, maybe they're just once again investing into, all right, well, we'll just 4-man goon squad you in that bot lane over and over again. And as expected, this is a pick that goes back into the hands of K2. A lot of playmaking, a lot of safety. It's just overall a really strong pick for a lot of these bot lanes that don't get to be highlight players for their team.
We are not psychic. It's just that these two teams probably have the most figured out draft out of any of the teams in the PCS. So it's not exactly difficult to kind of guess where they're going in most of their drafts, as Impunity does lock in the pretty standard draft for Blaze, as they do want him to hyper carry. That's how he usually does. And the Lee Sin 2 for Epic, which is, again, I think no surprise. Trundle versus Volibear, I feel like you do very similar things, but Volibear is pretty much better. So we typically see a little bit more differentiation here, and going for the LeBlanc with a little bit, the Lee Sin with a little bit more pick potential. Rajaya gonna reach for Enso's Nautilus. Again, not a huge surprise, just shoring in onto that front to back and getting a little bit more team fight potential in those early Drakes. Rajaya going into the draft phase. This is where it gets interesting, because Impunity purposely let Moonblack open. And when you leave him open, you have to expect him to just be completely banned out. So we might be seeing something being forced out of here. He's seen the Silex, he's seen the Kled, he's seen the Azir. It's just the problem about Rajaya picking the poison.
I would assume that it's going to be the Kled ban here. It's most curveball pick and allows him to really get out of lane scot-free and make plays for the rest of his team. But it does mean that, well, you have the Tahm Kench available, you have the Mundo available, you also have the Irelia available for Top King. All his options are available. So Berjaya, they have to be pretty careful with this pick here and make sure they don't give up the top lane too easily, as it does look like it will be Minji taking this Syndra pick, of course, buffed on this patch. And when it comes to some of these short-range compositions, can be absolutely devastating with her pick potential.
Very strong early game coming out from Berjaya already. A lot of tempo champions in. Now here's the big reveal. What is Impunity going to pick for Moonblack? Now, if I look at the draft, I'm thinking Sylas. Okay, it is going to be Sylas. You have Nautilus on the other side. That's great for Sylas to kind of steal away. Sylas also does a lot better in side lanes versus Syndra. But I will add a caveat. We haven't really gotten the best performances from Moonblack on Sylas. It's I think the standard answer here. I'm not sure how well he can pilot it at this point. So we'll find out in game. Meanwhile, Top King has to go for a blind pick top laner. Usually it's Mundo. I'm not sure it's Top King's style, though. Whenever Top King picks something like a Mundo, you just kind of go like, ah, really? You know, Aurelia?
No.
But it's understandable.
Yeah, it ends up being a little bit disappointing. We'll see what Berjaya answer back with. They could just plop that Volibear up top lane just because of it ends up being kind of two big meatballs slamming against each other, but it will actually be the Jace locked in. So a whole lot of poke potential coming out from this back line. And then they have this decent disengage with the Verisalt, the Scatter of the Weak from the Syndra, and of course the Nautilus ultimate as well. So fairly balanced drafts from Berjaya, and over on the side of Impunity, this is a very up close and personal squad besides Blaze. So it could be problematic in how they deal with the Syndra, but they do have a lot of HP bars to absorb the poke damage coming in.
Yeah, I like at the last pick, Ozzy basically said, no more meatball fights. I'm going to make this surgical. I'm going to make this clean. It's not going to be any wet noodles in the top lane. He goes for the poke composition, and very defined strategies coming out from both sides. You got front to back on the side of Impunity here, and Berjaya just going with poke comp with tempo advantage. This is a very important thing. A lot of people run poke compositions with stuff like Ezreal, with Corki, where they don't have tempo leads anywhere on the map and they just expect them to be magically able to converge on the same point. Berjaya understands poke comps. They actually have strong lanes into poke when they group up. So I love this composition from both sides. They can honestly, both of these have a very good chance of taking each other out. You have Drake fights here, and you have tempo plays that, lanes that should come out ahead supposedly in the Syndra and the Varus. So both of these are perfectly good drafts, just a little bit later and slower on the side of Impunity.
Yeah, for the most part, I do favor Berjaya's composition just that bit more, because they do come online a little bit faster, and they also just have the disengage tools to deal with the low range on the side of Impunity. And if you aren't able to force plays, get that first engage off, it becomes really difficult because they don't have a whole lot of engage tools. It has to be a really special flank angle coming in from Epic or Moonblack to start things out. And remember what we said at the beginning of the day, PCS teams are just a little bit too honest. They stare you in the eye and say, hey, I'm looking to engage on you right now. You better back off, buddy. And, well, they don't need to back off with the Syndra. They just scatter the weak.
I will say Moonblack has been probably the player where we've seen the most teleport flanks. A lot of times they're not super successful and he dies right off the bat. But when it comes to being shifty and coming in at different angles, I think that is a box you do check for Moonblack. I honestly think so. And by the way, he does have Depth Charge. So just pointing that out. Could still have a great impact as Nick Young flashes across the map.
He also will be able to snag himself a Varus ultimate. So Chains of Corruption, not a bad option as well if that Nautilus ultimate is on cooldown for him to steal. But nothing surprising when it comes to starting items, and when it comes to, of course, these rune choices as well. Nothing too new. I do like the fact that we do have Jace getting that Gathering Storm. I don't think it's super useful in this case because their composition does need to hit a lot harder early mid game.
Yeah.
But, if you get to those late game situations, Jace is a champion that does scale incredibly well.
Do you feel like it's an adaptation to the way Ozzy plays the game? He usually is very much a 4-1 late game split push option.
Get him!
As we get a bit of a 2v2 trade in the bottom side, both supports proccing their Aftershock, Enso getting a little bit faster on the trigger right there as he does throw out the line. And taking a look at the jungle paths, both sides are going to start from top to bottom. A lot of explosions could be happening there level 3. And early in the laning phase, we do expect Berjaya to have their way in both of these lanes. I will say the new Mundo actually has a very easy time getting ganks off onto Jace. You can't really displace him anymore when he gets his passive off. The Mundo goes where he pleases. So once he lands a cleaver and his jungler is in, it's very difficult to actually run away as a Jace. So we'll see if that comes into effect this game.
And as expected, if you miss the Abscond Abduct, then you get a Scatter Weak to the face, but still could be in trouble here as Epic is lined up to make an early game play.
Good flash out by Minji there. It was barely in time for him to get away from that one. I felt like he did sort of understand that Lee Sin was in the vicinity because they did ward out the Raptor. In we go, Enzo finds the hook onto Kralix. This double stun comes down, and goodbye. First blood over towards Berjaya. Very clean kill coming in, and that was well played by Arashi there. You know, pops the Scryer, and doesn't seem like Impunity were aware of him coming through.
They just go ahead, hard commit to that play. And well done from Enzo as well, reading where the Thresh could go, and there weren't a whole lot of possibilities for where he could go here. And yeah, going back to this top lane dynamic, you do have to play a little bit more aggressive as Ozzy. You have to burn that passive on that Mundo pick, just to make sure that if he ever goes aggressive to try and chase you down, when that jungler does come, you can just knock him away. Or you also have to just play the fight differently and knock away the jungler rather than the Mundo.
So we do have the double scuttle being secured by Arashi. He seems kind of perplexed that the scuttle is still up here, but he really shouldn't be. We saw an early gang coming in from Epic. That's why the double scuttle is still there. We'll take a nice CS lead. And looking at the top side, this could be very dangerous here. We do have lots of crowd control incoming, and Top King, his wave is about to come crashing in. Let's see if he can keep it outside the tower. It was falling really low, and also used up his passive though, so the stun is incoming. Top King still has his flash. How will he play this one? Does flash a little bit early and will just die.
Ozzy could die though.
Does go down to the minion wave. Well done. As Ozzy overtanks the wave there. I thought it should have been Arashi tanking, but somehow the top laner actually got the aggro.
Yeah, not quite the cleanest dive setup there, but it gets the job done, right? Even though it goes 1-for-1, you'd still deny EXP away. Ozzy still gets the kill. It's not like kill credit went over to Arashi and Top King got the return kill. It ends up still being both top laners getting kills. So the kill goal will remain even, and
double stun again coming in from Minji with the TP on the backside. Ozzy does not have any crowd control though, so I doubt he's going to be able to catch up here. He does have Enzo on the way.
No flash.
And we do have the flash coming in. And that's about it.
Yep.
Well, he still had to come back onto the map, so TP not exactly wasted, but is going to give Top King a little bit of leeway here as Arashi goes back in, but he is surrounded by 3 members and is just going to die like that.
Yeah, I don't think K2 mentioned to Arashi, hey, okay,
Minji gets found again, and we have the flash in by Moonblack again. Minji gets a double stun. How is he getting these over and over?
It's just too easy for Minji, man. He read them like a book,
he is
and
the,
now
escape master.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's a hook master right there.
Enzo finds.
Oh, might be dead though.
However, it might actually be his death.
Oh, good block.
Some paths are better untaken. I feel like that's the caption for the play.
Yeah, it gets out by the skin of his teeth. It's going to cost K2 a lot more than what he would have liked there, as now he's stuck in a 1v2 situation. Arashi will be able to pick up the wave that Minji does have to give up. And all in all, it's resulted in an ever so slight lead for Impunity. That I would say...
Yeah, we do have...
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say that it's mostly been accumulated by Epic. They'll look to try and reinforce that lead here coming into the mid game. Maybe get that pick onto the mid lane. It's mostly just been Epic continuously forcing plays around that mid, and that's just kind of how Impunity played now. Try and make sure Moonblack gets out of lane phase all right, so when his decision making actually becomes a factor, then they can start taking over the game.
Definitely has been what we've seen from this player. Good decision making, kind of questionable mechanics at times. For Jaya, they are going to defend their jungle actually completely okay. They are down a camp on Narashi, but That's completely fine at this point. A key thing here is to note that we are getting into the point where I feel like Drake fights are going to be coming up, and that should still be in Berjaya's favor if they so take it. But here comes the gank we're talking about. Can't knock Top King away. Epic comes in with the easy kick. Very smooth kill. Going over to Impunity. That also opens up the Herald play.
Yeah, not a whole lot you can do if you are the Jace in that situation. You don't have Flash. You're already pretty much approaching their tower. So you're really just too far from home at this point. And, I mean, they can just run at you. Epic doesn't even really need to flash there. If Top King just lands a cleaver, he's also dead. But wants to get the kill sooner rather than later. I respect that. And now level 6 on Arashi.
Now we're going to have the Herald contest. Arashi is very close. They go in, don't find the spike, but they pick off Epic immediately. And they get out completely okay. Moonblack is still looking to come in with the Stormbringer. However, here comes K2 with the beautiful Chains of Corruption. They are going to sit down on the first kill. Down goes Blaze. Top King one hit away from death. But into the right, and so does Moonblack. K2 comes over the wall. Last auto attack does find their target. Now, Kralix is running for dear life. They're not going to be in range for another piercing arrow right here. Just going to back off. At the end of the day, assessing the damage here, Herald does go over to Impunity, but Berjaya come up with extra kills.
I would say that definitely favors the side of Berjaya just a little bit more because they want to try and funnel as much gold here. They get the 2 kills. They're also going to be able to get plates on top of that. As we see the replay, the ult from Arashi disengages the situation, and now they're waiting for their numbers advantage to arrive. Right when K2 comes back, that's when they go for the re-engage. They're able to finish off Blaze as he steps up too far, and honestly, this was a very good attempt at an escape coming in from Moonblack, but unfortunately, Flash is still available for K2, and he goes ahead, chases that kill. But you could see the mentality coming in from Moonblack. He wants to create space to allow Top King to escape, and in that regard, he accomplished his mission.
I felt like that was Impunity asking for more when they really didn't have that much in the tank. Top King, no ultimate there, and the Moonblack actually misses everyone with the Stormbringer. So, I felt like they could have actually walked out okay, but I wanted a little bit more, and K2 definitely there with the right punish. Great find onto Blaze. He just took him out before Blaze could honestly do anything. So, ends up being a slight win for Berjaya, and let's see if they can continue their tempo in those lanes. We can see both K2 and Minji with bounties right now. Moonblack can come in, but misses the abduct. No gank to be found right here. And
no flash
now
on Epic too.
Arashi going to come in to have his try. Oh, is not going to find his mark there. Great use there. Arashi did not have the Stormbringer up, so wasn't able to go unstoppable.
Yep, but now it also means that there is a difference. Well, okay, Ozzy's probably dead here as he doesn't have a tower to fall back to with.
Do have TPs coming in. Minji is here to the rescue. Top King pops his ultimate early, and Arashi is coming in for the kill. Double stun by Minji. Falls into the Stormbringer. That's going to be that's going to be Moonblack going down right off the bat. They can trade a lot back. Top King, the lone man standing on the Impunity side. They're going to go in for more kills. Berjaya, meanwhile, opening up on the bottom lane, but they miss a lot of abilities right off the back. Blaze is 2 autos away from death. K2 now going to be the one to fall down to Kralix. And it looks like they will be able to clean this one up. Not cleanly, but they do manage it in the end.
It ends up being a victory for them in that bottom side. They end up having to trade the support, but more importantly, teleport coming in to answer from Ozzy.
The PCS. Hello, Blaze. Where do you want to go? He's probably going to have to go behind the tower.
He's on a journey.
Is also there.
They want to give it to. Okay, good. Yeah, they definitely want to donate that gold over to Ozzy. I was a little bit concerned Arashi would finish it off, but knows what the move is as we get to see that top lane dive. Honestly, the teleport came soon enough from Minji that they were actually able to still have a say in this fight. A beautiful two-man stun into the two-man Stormbringer from Arashi. But the health bars are pretty thick on the side of Impunity. So they still end up only trading Heathen.
Yeah, and, at least Minji is able to get away here. I think there was a teleport that was stopped. Yep. Able to save their bottom lane.
Now Dragon.
And this should be a very difficult ramp for Impunity to actually venture down. They are going to start the siege with Top King. Goes in. Moonblack takes a lot of his HP, but does get the depth charge. Is going to go up the ramp, though. So Impunity, I think wisely, are not going to chase this one. Instead, going for the inside track on the mid lane tower. It's going to take away some of that tower HP down.
They're posturing for it, and Blaze will be able to at least secure a plate before they arrive, but unable to get anything else out of it.
Blaze gets hit up and doesn't take the Dark Passage. Very well timed by Enso. Gets the depth charge right before he gets to the escape pod, and goodbye, Blaze. That was definitely unexpected. He died for some plates. I wonder if he got them or not. It was just about to take over to 14. Okay.
He got one right there, and it really is just him getting a little bit too greedy, seeing that he had a lantern, he ends up sticking around. And, well, great punish from Berjaya. They have more than enough lockdown that if you don't immediately take the lantern or just back off, you will 100% get punished every time. However, gold lead still in favor of Impunity here is actually really nice, and to allow them to set up for that front-to-back team fight that we were talking about at the post-draft.
Does feel like the game has been scrappy enough where Silas, basically the king of scrappiness, has been able to find kills. Moonblack seems completely fine. This is a terrific laning phase by Impunity standards.
Yep.
Like, this is completely okay. Yeah. Even though they're down kills, they're still up in CS. They have good map control across the board, and all of their players are still in the game. And I think even in the silence, we are seeing Top King just having a decided advantage against Ozzy at this point. 4-1-0. Does has the Anathema's chains to just cut down on Jace's damage. And look at Ozzy. He's not even going to come close to his own tower. He's like, nah, I can't. I just can't. The jungler's probably close. I can't do anything.
It's really well done from the side of Impunity and just hiding where Epic is, and because of that, Ozzy just has to give that extra bit of respect, knowing that the rest of his team are playing topside. He has Arashi on that Rift Herald. We'll see what they can do with the second Rift Herald. Of course, it's past 14 minutes, so you're not getting a lot of gold. It's just a matter of you make a dent in the side lane with this extra Rift Herald. And I mean, you definitely aren't going to attack the Mundo lane, so the only option here is to attack this Silas lane if they can get max value out of that.
Yeah, I feel like Berjaya are fighting against this Top King clock at this point. They really don't have much sustained damage. Everything is just kind of one rotation burst. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And Mundo, I'm pretty sure he can survive all of it at this point. He is a big boy. Berjaya are forced to play away from the Mundo, like you mentioned. They likely have to find picks before Top King and just come in and just barrel down on everyone.
Yeah, and it really just comes down to some of this pre-fight setup here now, as it is going to be that Ocean Dragon up in 90 seconds. And in general, I feel like, Clement, that today's been a very slow day for dragons. No one's been super eager to take that dragon early on, and as a result, we've had a lot of opportunity for these teams to scale up.
Moonblack does find the abduct, steals away the power, and Epic goes in for the finish off kill, even gets the flash from Minji for the shutdown. Massive play coming in from Epic, and Berjaya are left scrambling across the map here. Ooh, this is always bad to see when you're the poke composition and the enemy team is split pushing you like that. Great combo coming in from Epic. That's all the sums too. We'll watch that again.
Minji walks up just a little bit too far, and then Moonblack able to land the damage, and that's more than enough for Epic to just flash over the wall. Clean mechanical play there, and also K2 gets picked off. I don't know how that happened, and now Enzo probably on the menu as well.
Just getting body blocked by Top King. He is forced to flash away, and that's the Drake and mid lane tower completely open at this point. Impunity starting to walk away with this one. Hope we do get a replay on what happened there by K2. He actually popped both of his summoners to try and
straight into a replay.
Oh, he just came back behind him. Well, goodbye. Nowhere to go, K2. He tries to flash. I probably would just save my summoners at this point. I'm just like, yeah, I'm a dead man. I'm going nowhere.
It's probably one of those cases where you just throw up the emote. Maybe the white flag emote, or maybe a scream emote. Just be like, well, guess I'm a goner. But now he loses his flash. That's even worse, because while his flash is going to be up just in time for that next dragon, it does leave him extremely vulnerable to another play mid, especially when he wants to play this far forward. It's not going to cost him here because it's just getting Rift Herald to charge at that tower, but like, you gotta be playing very respectfully if you are Varus.
Interesting poke attempt coming out from Jaya, but they instantly back out once the TP comes in. It's actually going to be a double TP.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
The double TP was kind of weird to me, yeah. And they leave bot side wide open. Okay.
Yeah, definitely an interesting.
Just go back to the poke game. It's like, well, yeah, boys, they have no TPs. Let's go.
Yeah, and now they can get, they can play a little bit more patiently with Ozzy in this bottom side. If they invest members to try and stop a mid, they have Ozzy take an extra wave. They will go ahead and reset, but it's still a large timing window to allow Berjaya to really flex themselves around the map, try and out-rotate the side of Impunity with those double teleports down.
Yeah, it means that there will be no help coming from the side lanes if Berjaya just barrel down mid, which I think they're apt to do at this point. It's probably their best play. They can't contest the side lanes against Silas or Mundo. So we're just going to see more forcing from Berjaya, and maybe they can pick someone off underneath tower. Top King is going to get a bit of an interview here against Ozzy. Ozzy's chasing up fearlessly. I think he's just fronting at this point. If Top King actually just sneezes at him, he's probably dead. But I'm playing with the mentals here. I always love it when players do that.
Yeah, trying to see if one of these players calls the other's bluff. And right now, just a little bit of posturing in that mid lane. This does benefit Berjaya a little bit more.
Yeah, we do see Moonblack just getting decimated quite I'm not sure what that play was for. I don't know what happened.
Another hook!
He gets another catch. What?
Oh, wait, they don't finish him, though.
Oh, but a three-man kick across the team from Epic saves.
Wait, another stun?
And that was, I'm sorry, I just don't know what Impunity were trying to do there, but that was very close to being a straight-up disaster for them as they lose one member. Moonblack dies without doing anything. Straight CC chain all the way to 0 HP.
Yeah.
Why are you guys grouping here?
Yeah. They get absorbed into the A ramp. And Moonblack, this has been one of his just issues as a player, is that he wants to play with the team. And then you see the re-engage coming in from Berjaya. They aren't able to finish Krelix, and honestly, that's like, Impunity are so lucky and fortunate that they only lose Moonblack in that situation. And again, going back to Moonblack as a player, he wants to play for the team. He wants to initiate these team fights. He's not a side lane player. However, sometimes you just gotta make the play call because it's the correct play call for your composition to play the side lane.
Oh, my head absolutely hurts after that play. I would not be surprised to find a headline on like .esports that says Golden Guardian sells their spots to Impunity and they join the NALCS. That's exactly what they were looked like they were going for. Like, that's you're a 1-3-1 cup. You're a straight side lane cup. Like, I don't know what they were grouping up mid for. Like, what was gonna happen mid? You either get engaged or you get poked down. Like, that's it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know what Impunity were trying to do there. That was an epic save. They should really raise his salary. If that wasn't for him, getting a 3-man kick, a lot more of them would be dead. So
Yeah. Big save
despite
coming
the name,
in. And
Impunity really are not immune to anything. Goodbye, Moonblack, as he dies once more.
Top King is here now, though.
At least Blaze is online this time, so it will get a lot of damage back. And Top King
Top
is
King is
basically
scary.
unkillable. Epic once more going into the back line. Does get one kickback.
Top
That is
King!
all. Top King still finding the angle. Oh, very close to
Ozzy has
getting
flash.
another kill on Ozzy.
Okay, they are going to back off, but with so many low health bars, you can definitely see Impunity could think about it, but they know that the health bars are just too low on their core members. Because Blaze,
K2? Just went way too close to Blaze. Definitely should try to take the other path around there. And, wait a minute, is Blaze gonna die here too?
Cue the music? Cue the music?
I can provide it if you want me to, but let's watch Moonblack get killed again. Down goes the Ignite. I'm pretty sure he's dead. Goodbye,
Yep.
Moonblack.
Alright. I think everyone knows, yep. It's the music coming in. Well, these are two teams very close in the standings. And you can kind of see why they're this close. A bit of a yakety sax, a whole lot of yakety sax.
I'm getting
Way
a
too
heart
much
attack from
yakety
this
sax.
game. I really am. Yeah. What? K2, what are you trying to do here? What was the best outcome for you? Okay. I think K2 even knows that he messed up because he flashes the fizz right here, but somehow Blaze, in trying to dodge a shock blast, not only does he doesn't dodge it, he also just dies right afterwards. And then we see Moonblack die too, which is I don't know,
got back.
man. Like, if I want to be completely objective, this actually favors Impunity because they're dragging the game out. I'm not sure they're gonna know how to play the game, even if they drag it out. But in theory, this should favor them. They have the better scaling. I'm not sure what I'm watching, but I can't believe Moonblack has died 3 times in team fights without doing anything. Like, oh god, how is he always getting caught out like that?
You look okay. So if I tell you Impunity
Okay, let's
have
chill.
a 6-1-1 top king, you're probably like, wow, this is great. And then I'm gonna tell you, well,
True.
they also have a 5-4-2 Aphelios. You're probably thinking, man, this is a done deal for Impunity, but it's not. And they're gonna try and force here.
Top King gonna try to take things into his own hands here. Get a couple of abilities, but no sums being used. And Impunity now on the inside track. Top King does not have ultimate anymore, and in we go with the Chains of Corruption. Does land onto 3. Absolutely massive ultimate from Marashi as he takes down the entire backline, and out of nowhere, Impunity implode.
Aced.
They're all dead. What?
That's what IMP stands for, implode, because they just got destroyed from the outside in. And oh my lord, okay, you don't have minions here. This turret is going to take a little bit to take down, but it does look like Impunity or Berjaya, they want to try and finish the game straight up. Death timers are kind of
Top
tight.
King is not going to be back, but the rest of the team should still be here. Can they actually stave off this attack?
They can. It's done.
Maybe.
They're going to be finished.
No, Berjaya finished them up.
Oh my. Okay.
Oh, that was the craziest game we've seen all split in the PCS. I feel like Impunity, like, I don't know what they did. They just walked up mid and died. Like, I don't know, when they had full side lane pressure, why would they not go for side lanes? Why would they just all group up mid? Oh.
We're gonna see a replay. I don't know if anyone truly wants to see the replay though, but it was honestly very well executed fight coming in from Berjaya. Like, the amount of skill shots they've hit time and time again. Minji is clearly the MVP, but shout out goes to Enzo as well, because he's hit some insane hooks this game. And Liab fans rejoice. There's the dream is still alive.
They're keeping the dreams alive. It's much easier for them to overtake Impunity if Berjaya continues on their win streak up at 6. I've been pulling on my hair a little bit too much, so I must come back into a normal form. Oh my god! Oh my god!
All I have to say is, were you not entertained?
I definitely was entertained. I'll give you that. You know, that was honestly, Minji probably gonna be MVP that one. I just felt like Impunity. They had this path. Like that, it was a well-lit path. It was a paved road. You know, you could see houses in the distance. There's great music. There's sunshine on one path, and there's this other dark, danky road that looks super sus. There's like trash cans on your way. It's not very well lit. It leads to a bad neighborhood, and you can hear police sirens and like gunshots in the background. And instead of going for the path on the left, they just went like, "Yeah, we're taking this path. We're going right down this alley. I don't know where it leads. It looks super dangerous, but we're going down that road." And,
we're going on an adventure.
I don't feel like I wanted to be on that adventure. I felt like I wanted to be on the left side where it made sense and they could just go with an easy win. Like I can't believe they lost that game. So crazy to me. Like that they had full side lane control. And they grouped up mid for nothing. Oh, that game blew my mind. That's way too much PCS in a day. All right, I'm back.
Yeah, not a whole lot to add from an analytical standpoint. You just go back and listen to the music. You don't watch for the gameplay. You watch for the yakety sax. And at the very least, we got to see good mechanical display coming out from the Berjaya squad. And this is probably also one of Enzo's best performances. He's definitely struggled when it comes to transitioning. Yes, his play calls have been good, but mechanically hasn't necessarily been there. And I feel like this was a very good showcase of what he can do at the support role. And, well, the damage makes a lot of sense. Jace and Varus, the extra range really showed in these fights, and Syndra not being too far off.
Yeah, this is...
The gold graph really showcases the game. It was tight, and then the game just ended.
We have seen this from Impunity quite a couple times. It's just Moonblack sometimes he's just way too cavalier with his positioning, dies instantly before doing anything, and he ends up the game like he did barely more damage than Thresh. I mean, I don't know how these stats are actually true when he has full side lane pressure. It's like Minji can't even do anything to him against him. Like they should just stay 1-3-1 the entire time. Like what is Berjaya gonna do? I honestly do not know what Berjaya could have done there. But they just group up, they try to get for mid, and it ends up being their downfall. There's a lot of really weird plays coming in here. But we do have to highlight, I feel like, the players that did super well, like you mentioned, Minji and Enso really hard carry this game. They found their picks again and again into the backline, and Enso does end up with a well-deserved MVP. We had a lot of doubts when he moved to the support position, but I think he has silenced the doubters with this game. 13 KDA, 61% kill participation, and just all those finds onto Blaze.
He was truly a wizard with his hooks. Like, it was actually insane how many hooks he landed onto Blaze. And, well, some of them were just like hitting the timings, but also some of them just really curved around everyone. And those pockets, truly wonderful to watch. But shout out still goes out to Minji for the multitude of multi-man stuns he himself found with Scattering the Weak.
Yeah, that's... I feel like this always happens with Berjaya games. It's like the most ridiculous stuff happens. Liab always find their first win against Berjaya. I don't know why, but that's just like a fact of the PCS. And then Berjaya always comes back despite having like a game where you're like, oh, the enemy team has a very clear path to victory. They're setting up for Baron, and then Berjaya's like, oh, we just stole Baron. Oh, by the way, we aced. It was a perfect ace too. And they just somehow win the game. So congratulations to Berjaya. I will have to mention that this is also what we saw in the playoffs in Spring Split. Berjaya were the lower seed, and they upset Impunity 2-0. They just swept them. So maybe Berjaya just has Impunity's numbers. I did not expect Berjaya to get a 2-0 on the day, but congratulations. They are 6 wins. They're out of reach from both Liab at this point and out of reach of Alpha Esports. So they're guaranteed into the postseason. Congratulations for once again making it there. We're going to take a look at the standings overall. As you can see, the fight is still at the bottom 4 position. Any team can, actually Alpha Esports cannot overtake Hong Kong Attitude, but they can still get a tiebreaker versus Impunity. We'll find out this week if they can manage the miracle pull-off. It's going to be very difficult, but it's mathematically possible.
Yeah, for the most part, the contention is going to be through the 2 and 4 spots, 2 through 4 spots at the top of the table, and then the 7 through 9 slots here. As Berjaya, they've essentially locked themselves into playoffs. Hong Kong Attitude, a little bit warm at the feet, but for the most part, it's Impunity that's on the hot seat, making off-season moves, and looking like this is definitely not acceptable.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I felt like Epic played his heart out. Blaze had a couple of mishaps here and there, but overall, the team was on track to win that game. They should have won. It's just, I just can't get over how crazy that game actually was for Berjaya to win. I honestly feel like all my years of experience in League of Legends has not led me to learn anything in the PCS. But we're going to leave that aside. Tomorrow, more upcoming matches, key games to look out for. Liab versus Impunity. That one is most likely going to decide who gets into playoffs. On the other hand, we have a couple more very difficult matchups. Alpha Esports, if they want to keep their chances alive, they have to go and they have to secure this one. And Taipei J Team versus Boom Esports, that's going to be another very important match for playoff seeding. Again, both of these teams can still secure second place behind PSG. PSG is locked into first, but second place is still up for grabs for them to get a playoff bye.
Yep. And the highlight is just going to be the double headers for both Liab and Impunity, especially in that 4th where they go head to head. And if Impunity drop that one, all bets are off for Liab to try and get themselves to that tiebreak. And to clarify for those at home, like, series score does not matter for tiebreak situations. It only determines who gets side selection when it comes to that tiebreak game. So if you are tied record-wise, you will play tiebreak games.
Yep, and that's why we have a lot of tiebreakers in the PCS overall, so we'll see if that happens. Today's been a wild day. It's been a crazy day. We have at least one more team rising from the pit of doubt and heading on into playoffs. Congratulations to Berjaya Dragons once more for hitting the postseason, and that will be all from us. It's been your host and play-by-play today, Clement Chu, and this has been Nightstar for signing off. Don't go anywhere. We'll be seeing you tomorrow.